everybody. Linda Carroll here from my studio. Welcome back. And I thought today I would do a flip through of the collages I did for Februllage and talk a little bit about the symbols. I will link below the playlist that has all of the short videos for these collages. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the symbols that I discovered were repeated throughout this particular series. I was pleasantly surprised that so many symbols showed up and excited enough to add a new section to my website, Kolaj Magic, that talks about symbols and how they show up in my collages, and it might help you decipher what your symbols mean in your own collages. And I'm going to continue to add to that part of the website. It's good to be back, and I'll turn the camera around and we'll do a flip through of the surreal collages. Okay, first I decided in this particular series to make Surreal Magazine art collages. And I did use some digital downloads in the series, but basically I cut images out of vintage magazines and National Geographics. And this first collage was based on the theme fish. And I found this ad in a magazine, and I had this fish just kind of laying around. And I really loved the way that the stripes in the fish carried through the theme of stripes on the towel. And the blues seemed to match, the blue-green seemed to match so well. And the fact that this fish looks like it's coming out of the mirror towards the woman is the surreal part of this collage. Okay, so it's surreal just means beyond real, beyond the reality. And this was hand cut. And very interesting concept, I think. Really spending so much time on these surreal collages has shifted my my collaging a bit. So, which is always something good. It's moving forward. Okay, the second one I did is based on smile. That was the theme. And I used I only used 2 elements in this collage. I used the woman, and then I used this picture from National Geographic where these people down here in the corner are looking up towards the mountains, and she's pointing up towards the mountains. And again, using only 2 elements is something that I'm not really used to, but I took this opportunity to experiment with things that aren't normally part of my collage work. Then the third theme was mushroom, and this is the first mushroom collage that I did. And this is all hand cut. I put a face in the stem of the mushroom and then carried this shading up into the face. And over here, I cut an image from a mushroom as well as up here. And I just thought that was so unusual and very subtle. And I didn't post the video for this one. I don't even think I made a video for this one. but I really love the way this turned out. I did then go back and strengthen the lines around and through the mushrooms. This is the mushroom collage that I videotaped, and this one, it wasn't a difficult time, but I found it very interesting. It took me a while to find all the images that would work in this. And this is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images in this one. And there's this little man sitting up here on this ledge, and he's looking out over the vastness of this canyon. But I had a river going through here, and I found 2 images of the river from a National Geographic magazine, and was able to use the image that was close up, and then in the background I used the image that was far away. I love in this one how all the colors work together, and the fact that this horned creature kind of extends out from the mushroom itself. Okay, this one, the theme was bridge, and I used a lot of different images in this particular collage. This is more like the collages I'm used to doing, full page, lots of images, and I found this bridge, which I scanned into my computer and played with the texture of the bridge. And then this background, this starry background, I think is from a digital that I had. And the moon, the flower is from one of my own digitals. And then the planets, the butterflies, and the fox down here. The fox was from a book image. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 images in this particular collage. And one thing I love about this collage is the overlapping that really gives this depth. Overlapping the butterflies over the planets, and sometimes 2 planets, and overlapping the flower over the moon here, and the fox overlaps parts of the bridge. So we have colors here, and using different images to show depth, different pictures of the same image to show depth. Here we have a lot of overlapping, which shows depth. And again, I really grew to like working on these space backgrounds. This one was really fun to work on. I had a magazine image of this chocolate splashing up, and then I found this image of this couple in a boat, and to me it looked like they were just moving right through this huge massive area of chocolate and splashing up the chocolate in front of them. And then I found this image from a magazine of chocolate pouring out of a spoon, and then these chocolate curls here. But this I really love, but then when I scanned it into my computer and I put a space background in it that picked up the colors from the boat and people down here, wow, did that just explode. So I have here 2 different collages using the same image. This one is all analog or hand cut, and this one was enhanced digitally. Okay. Oh, and the theme, guess what the theme was on this one? Chocolate, of course. Loved it. All right. This one, this collage, the theme was ghost. And I found this magazine image in the background here that looked very ghostly to me. And then I added this arch on these columns, and this watch too looked very ghostly in the way it was photographed and blurred. And these children came out of a Vintage Life magazine, and then I added the butterfly, and this is where my eggs started showing up as a symbol. So butterflies are appearing, eggs are definitely appearing as a symbol. Let's see. Here's butterflies. Okay, so I think so far we have butterflies and eggs that are repeating. This one is based on the theme of shoes, and I found this background ad, lady slipper shoes, and I let's see, do I have an original in here? I don't think so. I found this ad and I scanned it into the computer and I changed the lady slipper shoes. This was another brand name up here, and I wrote new copy here and here, and I wrote new copy here. And then I found another vintage ad with all these shoes on it that I put in place of the flowers that were on this vine. And then I put this woman in this shoe here. And it reads, styled to the minute, but more compelling still, correctly grown. Unemployed shoes in your closet are eloquent testimony to the value. Once upon a time, there was a pair of shoes which were splendid on your feet. What kind was it? Yes, of course, lady slipper shoes. Pick a pair today. So this was really fun, and I got a lot of likes and some comments on this one on Instagram. And I had never done a collage quite like this before. So again, it was a hand-cut analog collage that I scanned into the computer and added new text to it. All right, this one, the theme was photograph. And I found a photograph of these children sitting on this bench, and in between them was a dog. And I hand cut around these children here very carefully, and I slipped in this, I thought, very motherly image of this stone statue. And to me, that represented the stone mother, or the emotionally distant mother. And I think you can tell, especially in this little girl's face, the emotions that she is feeling. This little girl has learned how to hide her emotions, but I had this background photograph and then tucked in this statue. The theme for this one is celestial, and again I have symbols in here. Here's the egg tucked down in here, and butterflies. Now these butterflies, some of them are very special because they have their heads are birds. And I've noticed in a lot of my collages, I like things falling through the collages. And in this particular collage, it looks like I have this shell that I have different sizes falling through the collage. And then I also have what looks like dead birds kind of falling through the collage as well. And again, I love this this space background. And this one has a lot of images in it. I have the background, the space background itself. I have images of butterflies, bird heads, these dead birds, this shell, the statue head, and that's another symbol that I'm finding I have in quite a few of my collages are heads of statues that are showing up. I have the eggs here, and there's one more back here. This makes a triangle that points to the angel up here. And I think I feel as though if I sat down and wrote about this collage, it would be extremely interesting to really develop what all of these symbols mean. So now we have the eggs, we have the butterflies, and we have things falling, and we have heads of statues. This one was for, which one was this for? This was boat. The theme was boat. And I had these arms sitting on my desk. So I went through my National Geographics and I found this great boat image that is, heading out across a body of water. And I just imagined this woman who was overboard, or maybe it's a mermaid, maybe it's mermaid hands, climbing up or pulling herself up by these chains and rope. And then I made one of my combination creatures, Franken creature. It's a sparrow body and then the head of a bug of some sort. And then to add a little bit of pop art in here, I found this image out of a magazine, OMG, and I just knew it belonged in this particular collage. And here's the egg down here sitting on the floor of the boat. And also this bug is just kind of crawling along the edge of the ship. And I think that's another symbol that shows up a lot, are insects in my collages. Now this one was a lot of fun to do. And the theme of this one is, I think life, I think. And I did a video on making these creatures that were combinations of all different kinds of creatures. And I was talking about in that particular collage about the chimera and the myth of the chimera. And chimera was a creature from mythology. It was a combination of goat. Let's see here. It was a combination of a goat, a lion, and a dog. And I think that I really was taken by that idea of combining different body parts of animals and birds and so on. So I created these creatures and added them to this particular scene. Here's another one tucked down here. But again, I have the eggs falling through this scene. I have the butterflies and through this, and I have this couple who are kind of rejoicing at this birth of this new world, I believe. So the symbols are starting to show up more. And up here I have a pomegranate, which if you've been watching me for a while, you know that's a symbol of, and here's another one over here, of the goddess Persephone. These two were really a lot of fun to do. And I had this dinosaur book that I thought the images in it were just way too big to be used in a collage. But what fun it was to add these huge feet to this very, very bucolic scene of sheep and this little girl in front of this stone home, and there's sheep in the background, and here come these huge dragon feet or dinosaur feet in to capture this sheep and this child, and it would just totally destroy the mood of this piece. But I love the way it turned out. So in this one, I just have this background image and then these two dinosaur feet coming in from the side. A lot of movement in here, a lot of dynamic movement in here. And depth as well, because these feet are so huge, and coming in here on the side really diminishes the size of everything else in the photograph. And this one as well, I have these dinosaur bones lumbering in here across this landscape with these two fishermen down here just minding their own business. This one's drinking a cup of coffee, and this one, I don't know what he's doing. It's just sitting down here watching the lake, and what should come upon them but this bones of this giant dinosaur. So instead of the bones being captured in the earth, which is where they usually find these dinosaur bones, these bones are on the move, which is totally surreal. Okay, this one is, I'm not sure. Anyway, this one is two photographs. I found this one of this curved beach going out to sea, and then I found this photograph of these people dancing. and was really attracted to it. And then when I combined these two together, I just love the way that this curve echoes the curve in the beach, the way the colors work together, and just the pure movement of these people's hands and the movement of the waves in and out. And down here on the sand, there are these little tiny cars perched down here in the sand. And there are some people walking back here in the background. Okay, this one, the theme was wings, and I found these wings in the background. This image with the tulips was from a different magazine, and there was this image of this little boy here, and you can see the hands, and I replaced his head with a cardinal head, and I still retained his hat, so his hat is on him. And what I had to do is cut around these flowers and tuck everything down inside the flowers. And then I have this hand coming in with this super, super big strawberry being offered to this little boy, and he's reaching out. And I think that that wings became a symbol. I have wings in this collage, and I have wings naturally on my butterflies, but I have wings in this collage, and the butterfly wings and the bird wings. So that seems to be a symbol that is showing up in a lot of these surreal collages. And this one is, the theme was sunflower. And I found this huge sunflower in these books that I have been harvesting. They're DK books, and that's the publisher. And I found this huge sunflower, and I thought, what am I going to do with that? Well, he became a face. And I had these two images, this plate in the background and this piece of jewelry, laying on my desk for the longest time. And I thought these work perfectly together with this layering of these images in the background. And then this base was out of a magazine. I can't remember where the image is from, but the colors just seem to work really well, all combined together. And then I had this little boy with a purple tongue. It just, I don't know, the humor in creating this creature just made me laugh. And with these eyes kind of popping out, and it reminded me, once I got this all together, it reminded me of a Chinese dragon, you know, that they, and that has another whole symbolic meaning. But one thing I do use in my collages a lot is jewelry, oversized jewelry. And I took the pocket off of a shirt and put it here on this leaf, which was a lot of fun. And I kind of turned the leaf into a shirt image, and then this pocket is on here, and then this dried rose. So I think I've got these jewels that are a symbol that show up in a lot of my work. And then the final one I did is this one. And this was for the future. And I wanted to have a landscape, a questionable landscape in the background. And I found this entire background in a magazine. I think, was it Bloomberg Journal, maybe? So I had this image, and then I found this clock, this astronomical clock, and I cut it in half. And at first I was going to put one half on each side. But as I was working on it on this table, the images slid down, and I loved the way it looked down here at the bottom. And the way this was positioned, it led directly to the question mark in the future. And the eggs again are appearing, falling through the collage. I have a feather here, butterfly. There's a lotus blossom down here, which waken is a word that I love, that is rising up from the lotus flower. And then I have these shells again, the spiral shell that's showing up. So to me, this woman, these eyes, we talked about the female gaze in a couple of my videos, and she is looking out at the viewer, kind of asking you the question, you know, what about the future? What does it hold for you? And we really don't know what direction we're going in. So I did not manage to do all of the prompts in Februllage. I did my best, but I did not do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, I did these. 11. 11 I did not do, but I intend to go back and finish them and finish out this Februllage series. So in the meantime, I have been doing a lot of fussy cutting of images and putting them in my plastic containers like this. And look at all this collage goodness in here. I mean, I have some wonderful pieces to collage with. So that's one thing that I've been working on. And the other thing I've been working on is I'm revamping my website. And hopefully in about 3 weeks, I'll have that up and online for you to take a look at. So I think I'm going to end this video here and website, and I hope to have another video up over the weekend doing a collage, creating collage with you. Okay? So I wish you all many blessings. I hope you enjoyed that quick flip through of my Surreal Februllage series, and I will see you again really soon. Bye for now.